There are two key questions in today's gospel. Whose image and whose inscription? Jesus is encountering the religious leaders at his time, and they're trying to trap him into committing a crime and cause to arrest him. So they question him about the argument about paying taxes. Who should pay taxes for that? And it's more of kind of setting a trap. And somehow Jesus sees right through that and asks that question to the leaders. Well, show me the coin that you do take to pay taxes. And they say, well, whose image is that? And whose inscription? And they said, it's Caesar, and it's a Roman inscription. And he says, well, then give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, almost as if saying, don't waste my time on asking a question about, is it lawful for us to pay taxes? Of course it is. It's part of the culture. Jesus turns that and says, but give to God what belongs to God. The question for us to ask is, whose image and whose inscription is written on our hearts? We go back to the very beginning of the book in the Bible that said God created humanity. God created male and female in God's own image. And God said, this is really good. That's what we need to focus on, that we are made in the image and likeness of God. That God has written God's love, inscribed love on our hearts and in the very DNA of our being. Our job each and every day is to give back to God in acts of love, unconditional love. Keeping in mind that each of us is made in the image and likeness of God, and there is no one else unique as each of us. Each of us is a unique expression of God's love, of God's possibility, of God's work in the world. Each of us matters because each of us belong to God. We are that unique expression of divine love. And so we are called every day to give back to God this day by serving in love. So this week, just this day, let us pay it forward in love to one another. Because we are made in the image and likeness of God, and we are inscribed with the word of love, unconditional love, in God's own image in our hearts. Let us have the courage to live that and pay it forward. Amen.